Qualcosa lì. Esatto, non si parla di questo.
Hola a todos, bienvenidos a una sesión más de Encuentro Creativo. En unos minutos más daremos inicio.
Strano,
Hola a todos, buenos días, bienvenidos a una sesión más de Encuentro Creativo. En unos minutos más daremos inicio. Marta, we can start.
We can start, that's great.
Yeah.
Buenos dias, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Marta Leonardi, and I'm the International Advisor at Ferrari Fashion School, a fashion academy based in Milano. And here with me today, there is Giusy Liguori, our academic director for the Department of Fashion Design. Before starting our conversation and lecture about the fashion Italian heritage, I really would like to thank the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Mexico with the partnership of the Embassy of Italy in Mexico for leading and creating this Encuentro Creativo, the third edition. This is our great chance to tell you guys a little bit more about the fashion industry in Italy and about how at Ferrari Fashion School we interpret this field. And this is also chit chat today with you guys. It's really important after the lecture and the talk that actually Giusy is going to give all of you to interact together. So if you may have any questions, curiosity, also regarding Ferrari's and its program, we are here for you. Just let's start just with the video about our institution. Ferrari Fashion School, first of all, is a fashion academy with over 20 years of experience in the field. We are in the heart of the fashion district in Milano with the most important Italian and international brands, especially with their design department here. So we are in the heart of the fashion. And we do actually propose different programs from the product to the management in the fashion industry with bachelors and masters. And here we're talking about especially with Giusy about design. I start with the presentation. Sorry if you probably need a while to set up everything, but I guess here we go. Okay, you should see now the slideshow, and we start with a short video about Ferrari Fashion Academy.
Yeah, I was undercover, broken off like data, but I get secrets inside. You didn't pay attention, taking it down, and now you're gonna pay for it. I'll change your perspective, I'll change your lesson.
And here we go with Giusy. It's really important, Giusy, sorry if I interrupt you. Just introduce yourself and say a little bit more about you. You have more than 17 years of experience in this field. You're Italian, born Italian, but with an international background. You brought your fashion DNA, your designing all over the world. She has worked in the fashion department for the most important Italian and international brand. And in the last 7 years, you're directing the design department at Ferrari Fashion School. And today, you bring on the table the lecture on the new Italian fashion heritage, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Marta. Hello, everybody, and I'm very pleased to be with you today. It's really an honor for me, and at least to speak about fashion. It's something that I like very much, and that's what we do with our students. We used to really have lectures talking about fashion, just try to understand how fashion has changed over the years. And that's what we're going to do today. As you know, we want to discuss about the new boundaries of fashion. Before fashion, the beginning of fashion was all about made to measure, was all about the couturier. They mean like the old way of a modern fashion designer. And they used to work with international clients. They used to work with the bourgeois, the upper class of the society. And but then over the years, fashion changed. And so the beginning, if we're going to speak about the beginning of Italian fashion, was like competing with the French couturier, the French fashion, where we know all about Christian Dior, Yves Saint Laurent, so all the big names. But even in Italy, we had many designers, many couturiers that they really made history, like in 1951 at Palazzo Pitti in Florence, so 1951 and 1952, we had the chance to really show to the American market, the aristocracy, our fashion couturier. It means like Schubert, Fontana Sisters, Marucelli, Carosa, Antonelli, all the big names that they made the history of made-to-measure garments and the beginning of what we're gonna now talk about as a Italian fashion heritage. So, as I said, the beginning was all about how to make women beautiful, how to really surprise our clients, and introducing like the beauty of fashion, the beauty of garments, especially in gowns, especially in skirts, dresses, everything, you know, going from the society dinner to private vernissage and other situation that the aristocracy or the upper class used to go. And with Christian Dior and Yves Saint Laurent, we were talking about fashion, but in Italy, we had all the other designers that they made the future, and the future went to from haute couture to luxury, and this luxury that now is called pret-a-porter, which is we have to thank Walter Albini, because we had to wait the end of 60s and the beginning of 70s when this man was a visionary. He realized that the women, they didn't want only wear dresses, skirts, jackets, and so on, just for private dinners or specific moments of the week. They want to wear, and they want to wear in the same way, in a modern way, in a practical way, in a way that the fashion would be democratic in a way. So that's the reason why from haute couture we arrived to pret-a-porter. Pret-a-porter means really the ready-to-wear, the garment that we have there in our wardrobe, and we could use every single day with the same attitude, with the same beauty, you know, with the same way to be in a way modern. So we have to say that Walter was a very a visionary, and it was in Florence, still in Florence, because the beginning of fashion was in Florence. Then we had to wait the end of the 70s when everything moved to Milan. And why Milan? Milan is still now the center of fashion, even if the capital is Rome, but Milan is the real center of everything can be possible, not only in fashion, even when in other different sectors, in other different jobs. But Milan was very open to say hello to the world and say, you know what, we are Italian and we can say something different. Because as you know, Italy probably you know, is really like the end of fashion. We have all these artisans, we have all these handmade garments, all these artisanal elements that they are part of the garments. Imagine embroideries, imagine specific neat stitching.
And this make actually our nation unique, because
Yes,
in
and
Italy,
precious.
you are almost the only nation with all the value chain in fashion, not
Yes.
just the designing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so this kind of production is something that for us is very important, because every designer, every fashion brand from every single country, more or less, of luxury or luxury brands, they used to come to Milan not only to buy fabrics, but also to produce their garments, to produce their embroideries, to produce their leather goods, to produce everything, because we, from north to south of Italy, from the northern to the south of Italy, we have all these companies or small ateliers, small companies where you can really find precious things that maybe you cannot translate it, or you cannot make cheaper in other parts of the world. That's because fashion, as I said, fashion has changed. So we go from, you know, it's like a pyramid. So at the top we have haute couture, then we have the luxury with the ready to wear, then we go to the industrial designers or brands, and then we arrive to fast fashion. And that's what's happened, because when we have fast fashion, when we talk about fast fashion, everything, you know, it's as a different timing, as a different production, and something that we're going to discuss later, because something that makes me upset, but let's say all the other designers too, that they work for, yes, for a democratic fashion, but a fashion that makes the difference, and of course is not abusing and not producing pollution in this entire world. But talking about fashion, so this is a little bit about the images that made the story of our Italian fashion heritage, like, you know, Valentino, Versace, Fiorucci. They were all brands that they really made the point, you know, just not making only clothes, but made the point of fashion, because fashion is something that has to speak, has to give you like this design excellence, especially when we talk about this Italian culture. And when we talk about avant-garde, we talk about this, how to use our heritage, that, you know, it's an heritage, it's a big heritage, come from, you know, from Roman Empire until now, translated in something different, which is innovation, which is creativity, which is craftsmanship, which is experimentation. That's what we do now in Italy, and what we do especially in Ferrari, because it's actually our goal, and let's say it's our, now it's really our DNA, really working on our heritage, but giving a new way, giving a new language, with a new language. And that's it's a very dynamic process that we do, especially with master courses, but we also do with 3 years with the BA bachelor courses, where it's the process is spread in 3 years. With the master, it's very focused on our 1 year course. With, you can really work on this kind of creativity, this kind of improving, you know, improving this kind of creativity and this design excellence. We talk about, we call all this new way to this new way of fashion Esperia. Esperia because was a word that in literature used to be called the Italy and Spain for in the past, to explain this part of the Europe that was full of this history, especially now we talk about fashion, and how this creativity has changed. how the creativity has changed is about how to be revolutionary, and of course we cannot forget about materials, we cannot forget about texture, and how unconventional materials are important now to really describe the new way of fashion and where fashion wants to go. You know, fashion is something that we use every day. You know, we don't have to invent, we don't have to come up with a new jacket or with a new trouser because we didn't know before. It's all about proportion, is about materials, is about experimentation, is about new way to use garments probably that we used to use, but we have to give a new way, a new
interpretation,
a new life, you know. And so how we can use this our Italian heritage, but giving a new, as I say, in a modern way, no, a new using the tradition, but changing, especially using, I don't know, old fabrics, old materials, like could be lace. I mean, if we talk about lace, south of Italy is full. Imagine only Sicily. Or if we talk about other fabrics, other parts of Italy, other region are full of all these, let's say, garments, prints, ideas that we use every day in our normal life, and we didn't understand that this is really our precious, our gift. It's just like that we have to rework in a different way, and especially because fashion is important, because, you know, as you know now, the problem of fashion is that it's all about pollution. It's that we produce a lot because people are always keen to buy a new garment. I want to buy a new thing, and then I throw away. That's a problem. So that's why fashion has to change. And now Italian fashion is changing, is going through an ethical approach. And that's what we do. And what we do even here, we are very open to upcycling. We have a module, we have courses that they talk only about sustainability, we talk about recycling and upcycling, we talk about reconstruction, deconstruction and reconstruction of garments, to having a real ethical approach, to really help this student to understand that maybe the source, it's not in markets, it's in our wardrobe, or in like flea markets where we can buy things that people don't use, or in our parents' wardrobe, our grandparents' wardrobe, and we use this and we rework in a different way.
This is why I interrupt you, Josie, to say that this is why also among our partners you don't find fast fashion brands.
No,
and we work a lot with family business, because Italy is full of amazing family business working in the textile, fabrics, in any kind of the segment in the fashion industry, and we want to highlight that force that Italy has. And bringing into our class to international students as well. So it's really important to, let's say, concentrate the backgrounds of different people, the designer, with an Italian imprinting, because otherwise, why would you come to Italy? So it's important that you get the DNA, you interpret it with your background, and you come, of course, representing our values in the case of sustainability, circularity, and you come out, of course, with these new ideas, and in this case, the new interpretation of the new Italian fashion heritage, as we said.
As you know, there are many new materials that we used to use in fashion, and probably people know, someone don't know, but for instance, I mean, we can go from fabric that come from banana. There is the banana silk, which is amazing. Yes, it's still expensive, but the hand of this fabric is fabulous. It's really draping like in a fabulous way. We have have orange that produce fabric. We have pineapple that produce fabric, not only for fashion, but even for interior design. We have apple that produce an amazing leather. So that's the approach that we have to have, because, and there are a lot of brands that they started already, and in the next few years, couple of years, or maybe 5 years, fashion will change. It's not utopic dream, but it's something that it will come, because it's our responsibility to be in fashion, thinking about the future designer and thinking about the world. That's something that we have to incorporate in our projects. You know, when we work in our project, we need to be very ethical. But what is also very important, it's okay, the new technology, it's okay, everything. It's very important, the expression of itself, because, you know, we need to talk about themes that are very important, they are very contemporary, which is like, for instance, gender-free. You know, many designers, they work already in this, and for us it's very, very important, because this will bring fashion to a transformation, will bring fashion to be unique, and that's what we do. And that's what we do also at Ferrari. I'm very, very honored to be part of this, and I'm very happy to do it, because fashion has a global influence, as we said here, and fashion has to be a self-expression. It's very, very important, because we have to be open, because everybody has to make something unique that makes unique people when they wear it. And that is very, very important. When we talk about Made in Italy, we talk about everything. You know, we talk about fashion, we talk about art, we talk about movies, music, design, food, automotive, everything, because everything can be in, you know, part of our inspiration process, but it's something that we used to be big in. That is very, very important. For this reason, I want to really show you a brand that is very Italian, and is part of this Italian most famous brand in the world, which is Prada. I just picked a video from the 90s, where many journalists, they were talking about Miuccia Prada, with the owner, the founder, with her husband, Maurizio Bertelli. They were talking about Prada and how, let's say, innovative and how visionary was Prada, and how visionary, I can tell you now, is Prada today. And that's what makes big Italy.
Yeah, you go here and let's try.
Oh, love Prada. Yes, let's talk about Prada.
In 1978, Miuccia Prada inherited the family's leather goods business from her mother and quickly expanded the company into one of the most talked about clothing and accessories lines in Italy.
What Miuccia had always done is really sort of take the absolute classic item of clothing in your wardrobe and reinvent it in the most modern, directional, futuristic, functional way.
I loved the way she always takes risks on the runway.
I think that every season, she comes up with something very unexpected and jarring.
I would say that Prada is really what I am. Philosophy is the same. I think that is your person, is your feeling, is your culture, is your way of having memories and remembers, and desire of being different. That has to be something that really comes from inside. So this is what I think about. Not from outside, really from inside. It's more inside collection than a design collection.
Prada is always ahead of the time, and her individual style is often translated into trends by her contemporaries. In 1992, Prada branched out with a successful secondary line, Miu Miu, followed by Prada Sport, a menswear line, and a lingerie line. Miuccia's influence on the fashion world is so great, she has twice received the International Award from the Council of Fashion Designers of America.
Miuccia always leads the pack. The minute people catch up to her, she goes and does something else again, and she's always one step ahead. She doesn't care what everyone else is doing, and everyone will continue to follow her.
You to really think things through. She is making a point. She's not just making clothing.
And that's the reason why Prada is so big. She doesn't make only clothes, she make a point in fashion. And that's why, as a fashion designer, I would love to work for Miuccia Prada. As a consumer, I won't have a piece of Prada because she has been a visionary. She does come from fashion. She comes from a family that works in fashion, produced leather goods. And that's, I think, was the way why she was so visionary, because she tried to have a different approach, an ethical approach and a democratic approach, because she was a big fan of politics, and she wanted to really fight for the rights, especially for women's rights. And then she tried to create a fashion that was wearable, usable, and that should start from the concept that has to be the expression of itself. And that's why we talk about this ugly chic when we talk about Prada, because we don't need to be beautiful, we don't need to be perfect to wear Prada and to make Prada come true. We just have to make something, and we have to be, has to be fun, and we have to enjoy to do it. That's what she does. And that's the reason why she also had an ethical approach, using in a visionary way this nylon waterproof for bags, and but from reworked nylon and reproduced nylon. So say they take everything that all the nylon garments, bags and whatever, and then they take the materials, they reworked in a way, they reuse, they recreate the same let's say line of nylon, and they reproduce bags. That's an amazing thing. That's why I'm very fan of Prada, and I think it's the biggest
When did
expression.
she make it?
The brand, or
Yeah, no, this idea of using the nylons and making it in
the last 2-3 years.
That's
the last 2-3
years. So
years.
even like, let's say before other brands coming out with
Yeah.
this, so she
That's why she's a
visionary.
that's why she's a visionary. And but of course we have many other brands. Just talk about Armani, talk about Versace, talk about Dolce & Gabbana, who made really the history of fashion, because they use their heritage, and they put this heritage, giving a new way, giving a new image on a runway. That's the biggest goal of this brand. Of course, we have many other brands that comes from cars, or we have many Michelin chefs. They are very famous, that they are inspired by fashion or by Italian art to make their plates, or designed architecture. We have a famous Italian artist, you know, from I don't know, from many designers, from the design to a real piece of art, not only antique art. That also makes big Italy, and also it's inspiration for designers, fashion designers. They want to work in fashion. And we have musician, or the opera, or the history of cinema, just talking about the biggest
when you talk about Milano or Italy in general, and especially in Milano, if we representing fashion industry, is not just about roaming around the fashion streets and looking at the windows. It's all about going around the city, enjoying the arts, the beauty, and as well as enjoying the network that you do with people that are coming to Milano, and they are here to network with each other. And so you gain the backgrounds of everyone, feeling the atmosphere of
be part of the world.
Exactly, for be part of the same world, enjoying the beauty that actually our country offers.
You have the chance to really to be part of a big world where many cultures with a different background, they are living the same the same city, and you have really the chance to be to feel international, to feel part of something big. You know, I had a dream when I came to Milan, and I really still feel this dream. And because I had the chance to do what I wanted, I worked hard, because when you love fashion, you have to work hard, because there are many people that they want to be part of this small world that looks big, actually is very small. But when you have a dream and you want to live your dream, then you can make it. And of course, you have to come to Milan if you want to make it. There is no chance to go in other places, because you have the chance here to really show if you're good, then it's your time to be part of this fashion world. And I just want to show you how many things we can make it in fashion, and how fashion can be special in terms of fabrics, in terms of embroidery, and it's all our heritage. You know, that sometimes you feel like, oh, that's a beautiful dress, that's a beautiful things, but if you really look from you know, from a small part, you know, really next to these garments, you really see how complicated and how precious can be these garments, that they come from. Probably the inspiration can be from your grandmother trunks, or you know, your grandmother hobby that probably was the crochet, and you can translate all this in fashion, as I can show you now. You know, all these laces, these transparencies, how you can play with something that is so traditional. Probably you have seen from the funeral to the weddings, even in the past. And you can give something innovative in a way. You know, you can work in patchwork or embroidery, but in a modern way. Imagine here you have these chunky embroideries, or this patchwork, which is a very complicated, but so special that you, when you see, you feel like, oh, I would like to have the same piece. You know, all this manufacture, this manipulation that we do at Ferrari, and this I'm very happy to say. And it's also something that makes the difference here. That's because we want this, and when we work in our collection, in our project, I pretend to have, because that's what makes fashion now. You can make just a good copy of the genial, the special, very interesting idea of someone very famous, but if you can make something that represents you in a very modern way, that's the most important thing. And that's the way how we work. Even when we talk here, you know, about knitwear or about denim, everything has to be different. Everything has to be taught. Everything has to be well constructed, well played, well taught. You know, and what we want is to be we want to be different, but with a strategy. Okay, that's the difference. That's the what makes the fashion different now. It's all about the image, but each piece has to be well constructed, has to be precious. But when you see every single piece in an outfit, in a look, then it's all about the image, no, the look, the styling. But when you take every single piece, it's there that the big designer makes the difference, because this garment, this clothing can fit one girl to another girl, can fit the daughter and the mother, and that's the difference from a glamorous girl to a most romantic girl. And that's the strategy. That's how we build our collection now today. So this new Italian fashion heritage represents really the evolution and the future of Italian fashion, where everybody can come and express itself, and using the heritage of his culture and the culture and the Italian fashion heritage, but just giving a new language. That's something that it's really touched me, and something that I believe in.
Thank you so much, Josie, for
Thank
the
you. Thank you, everybody.
very interesting session. Yeah, so we talk about cultural heritage. I feel you that Mexican students can really understand what you're talking about.
Yes.
And I hope you enjoyed our lecture, but this is the time for the Q&A session. So let's go through some comment studies. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. We're seeing a bit. Okay. I see just some consideration about the webinar. Everyone was happy, so I'm happy that I'm glad that you
Thank you.
enjoyed this session. But Josie, actually, I probably do have a question for you.
Yes.
Speaking in general, why an international student should come to study, generally speaking, fashion, not only design? Because we are working now in a fluid environment where if you do business in fashion, you also must deal with fashion designer and the other way around as well. And why having an Italian, let's say, education in this field can make the difference worldwide. Someone can decide to stay in Italy for working rather than go back to their countries or going around the world, which is the added value you think we can bring to international Mexican students on the table.
Okay. As you know, Europe is the heart of fashion. And as I said before, Italy especially is the hand of fashion, where everything happens. All the companies, from production to every single piece that makes a garment, piece of garment, from the zip to the embroidery, from the button to an application, from feathers to another, is made in Italy. And all the production from big brand, from Chanel to Vuitton to Balenciaga to Prada to everybody, is made in Italy. And so that's the reason why we have everything here, and it's a chance to really see this kind of heritage and how to make something out of this, you know, and study here. It helps students to really embrace this heritage in terms of fashion, in terms of connection, in terms of art, in terms of music, in terms of many aspects that makes the difference to be creative in, I don't want to say far away, and be creative in Italy, where you can also be in contact with the big brands, and you can be after your graduation, you can have all these kind of interviews, and then start to work in companies that you just had a dream when you were in your small room around the world. That's happened to me. That's why it's really like, it's a confession. It's something that happened to me, and so why cannot happen to these students? And that's a special suggestion for me, you know.
Thank you so much, Josie. I've seen here we have many different questions. We try to be fast and go through everything. How do you think globalization has impacted the Italian fashion heritage?
Of course, has impacted not only Italian fashion heritage, but everything. It's just that we try to still make the difference in fashion. We try to keep our DNA. We try to, of course, to go out in the market, not with higher prices. We try to give new idea of garments, new idea of collection, and try to still be unique, still make something that that we paid for, you know. It makes the difference between a luxurious garments or industrial garments than to a fast fashion garment. And this is still something that has to represent the DNA of the brand. So in a way, we try to preserve the DNA, preserve the market offer, and give something more. Okay, that's something that I can say. And of course, it's fashion tried to be innovative and to preserve also the past.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sarah asks, how do you think designers and artisans can find a common ground where both can make the most out of a collaboration? I guess it's an Italian secret, probably, but do you have an answer for this?
Nothing. They try to.
The network, I would say, is the key.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You have to because besides sharing the same ground, you have to move outside from your room, from your house, from the place you design, to meet personally the artisans and
It's
to
very
knock the
important.
doors. And also the artisans should do the other way around. But for designer, it's a bit, you know, maybe easier because of the creative thinking that you may have. So maybe you push to the outsider a little bit. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. For artisan, it's different because sometimes they are also in small cities, and but they try. I mean, of course, they tried. I mean, this world is made only about connection, about networking, and sometimes you know you don't meet people for years for specific things, and then at a certain point, you know, for a next job you need this person, and you call everybody, then you go to them, and then start the magic. I think it's. Of course, it's a little bit of secret. Otherwise, we say everything, and you know, it's also this is the thing.
Let's go now on the, I don't know what here to say like this. Okay. Here, how to overcome creative block.
It happened to me too. I was also very stressed. It was not easy for me. But then you just need to take a break, because be creative does come like this, you know. There are probably moments during nights that you are creative, and some days you are not. So don't be stressed, don't be nervous. I say to my students all the time, just go around, just go to the park and drink tea, meet friends, do something that you like, and then back and see the things in a different way. And can be for days. No worries. I mean, creative people are like this, you know. You cannot pretend to be creative all the time.
We are just experiencing some problem with the videos because it said that this has blocked. Wait a second. We try to again. We are anyway, but that's going on, and the most important is that you hear our voice and you see the screen.
So my favorite part of a creative process is written in Spanish, but I think I made the right translation. The research, and two parts. The research, and when I can fit the prototypes of the garments. It's the most the best part. And when you see then the garments on the girls, it's beautiful. Makes the dream come true.
Okay, yeah, I would
think,
agree. So okay, then how, this is a serious question. Yeah, how do you think that globalization
We did already.
okay, done. Sorry, how close the creative teams have to work with technical teams in the industry that say I'm very creative but still need to work on my craftsmanship. Anonymous attendee. We don't have her name. Let's see. Probably this is a more business issue. Let's say the answer usually is always the communication.
The communication, of course. It's as I say, fashion. It's a big business, and we have many people from different sectors that they work. You know, from product to outside to the business part to everybody. So it's a huge business.
I would say this one is getting back us to the webinar. What iconic fashion trends or elements from the 90s do you think have had significant impact?
That's what I like.
Oh, the
That's
contemporary
what I like.
fashion design.
Absolutely, the minimalism made the difference and is the base to understand the fashion we are living now. Why fashion now is like this? We have to go back to the minimalism and the revolution they made. And they put the street on a runway. They decided to make the focus on garments and give the freedom to the people that they would wear. That makes the difference.
Adriana asks how to make the knowledge of the made in Italy in the general public.
You can study, you can find everywhere, you can buy books. It's what makes the difference between a person likes fashion and a person makes fashion in a proper way, in a good way, is the culture. So you don't never forget that from the second you decided to work in fashion, you will never stop to study. And that's what makes the difference, because bigger brands, big designers are good because they have a lot of culture, and this culture they put in their ideas.
I would answer actually this one. Emily says, I'm a 24-year-old architect. I'm a fashion content creator, and I'm very interested in the field. Do you have any advice for entering the world of fashion with a point of view of a knowledge from architecture? You're a lucky girl, Emily, because everyone with also different backgrounds can just bring in added value on the table. Architect is truly linked with fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. Architect, of course, it's a little bit different, but as it's a creative process.
Yeah, still,
okay,
yeah.
And the architect, they also have a very technical mind, which is very important in fashion, because you need to be technical in terms of technical sketches, technical drawings. You need to be a perfectionist, and I think an architect that build houses and everything, I think it's something that actually is very technical.
And of course, let's say that the education is helping you with that. Otherwise we wouldn't exist with master programs, for instance. Let's say that the education is not just bringing you the hard skills, the competencies, but it's also bringing you the network that you need to let's say to follow your dreams. That's
absolutely
seems easy to say, but the education is really help you with both of these things.
Why Gucci dismiss Alessandro Michele? Why wants their heritage style back?
It's stage in life, right?
I mean, Alessandro Michele made a good reposition of the brand. It was a real success because the world was open to receive the revolution that Alessandro Michele made. Now fashion is going in another direction, which is going back to the essence, back to the heritage, and they want to be concrete. They want to clean to go to be concrete, and that's what Sabato De Sarno is doing now with Gucci. Of course, there is a big strategy, and probably if you come, and then we can discuss.
It's always about business and strategies when we talk about big brands, let's say. But the importance for a brand such as Gucci is, of course, to make the difference on the marketplace all the time. This is also what you guys have to do as designer. You have to make the difference and be unique on your proposal. For instance, let's say Carl is asking, how do you innovate in fashion while still embracing your heritage? How to mix both of the part of the same medal, let's say. How would you suggest something?
Oh, what I suggest, nothing. Is just like working on the heritage, and as I said before, try to make something different, work on this, and be creative means also this. When you have a very narrow sources, and then you have to make something innovative with that. You have to work on everything. You have to work on the image, you have to work on the shapes, you have to work on the volumes, on a balance, on everything. It's important too. And there was also another question that say, what your advice for someone who want to graduate as fashion designer? My advice is be passionate, be curious, be creative, and really believe in what you do, and be humble, and try to do this as a part of your life, as a fairy tale. It's like a religion.
And you have to, I would also add, deserve a place as a designer as
absolutely.
well.
Absolutely.
That's for any job, I would say, but just not because you're good in sketching or because you produce clothes. It's the designer itself is a position that you need to let's say to win at the same time, right? Because there is asking responsibilities, efforts, studying all the time. always be open-minded. A narrow mind doesn't take you nowhere. And Alejandra, for instance, Alessandra is asking, do you think that the Italian heritage can be mixed with another heritage like the Mexican one? Of course, we were talking about it earlier. It's really important that you bring along your historical backgrounds and mix it of what you are living at the moment. Otherwise, you're just copy paste.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
But that's something that they ask also.
Marketing, Audrey, from a marketing perspective, what do you think are the essential qualities in someone who's beginning in the industry?
From the marketing perspective.
On the business side, let's
yeah,
say,
yeah.
how to be seen.
Nothing. You need to do. You need to work on a strategy. Really study how is the market, your target audience, which is your identity, what is your goal, where you want to go. It's also what we do before we approach a collection. That's what we do. Analysis the market and all the probability. We do the SWOT analysis, which is really like the weakest and the positive side. So it's a complicated to speak now. It's but it's of course it's not forget any side of the market, the competitors, where you want to be positioned, how is your quality, or how is your let's say your positive parts, which is your message, which is we can talk hours of this. So I would say,
and again, I would bring on the table the valuable relationships that you're going to build for your future. I always trust this point a lot, because sometimes it's not easy to understand at the beginning of someone's career. And yes, so I actually would like to answer to the last question. Then I guess we run a bit of time. Here, there was a girl asking something about you, Giusy.
Oh, okay.
Wait a second. What is your favorite method to make a collection, or which one you recommend? Probably the process, the creative process is asking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have my way to work, so you have to come and see how I can.
Everyone has a specific method.
Of course, it's a person. And of course, it's coming after. It's after years of experience, and I know my way to take the best out of the students and make it happen. So I can share my method. Of course, it's a little bit complicated, but
no, let's say that once of course, you have to learn from the others who has experience on this, and then find your personal one.
Absolutely. I will teach you how to do it, but then what I pretend is to be surprised that you can make even better than what I expect.
Absolutely. Sorry if sometimes you don't see us, guys. We are having a bit issue with the video, but here we go along. I also seen that you have asked something regarding how to start let's say on this industry, if you are just studying something else, and about information about the program. I share with you my personal contact, so actually you can get in touch with the school through actually this, my email address. I also copy here my phone number, so you can have the chance to get in touch together to keep up with and answering all your questions. I would say there is the option. I know that you are not seeing us. Let's try with the front camera, and probably yes, you don't see much better than before, but at least Giusy, you are here.
Yeah, okay.
Gabriel is asking us in Italian. how is going the technology developing and how to find the new materials with the recycling
For clothing.
clothing using plastic.
They are working on, that's what I said before, industries are working on this. They already started, we have many brands that have done,
Yeah.
from Max Mara to others, to start it from plastic or other materials to recycle and to produce new materials. So it's a process, of course, with every product process needs time. This is a real revolutionary
Yeah.
process, so it needs time. But I think they are just in a good point, as I said before.
I would end our lecture webinar with this super interesting question from Arturo. He's asked, as a Mexican, I know how Italian heritage influenced our culture, of course. Do you think Latin American culture has influenced Italian culture? Knowing there is a trend in Yoruba Latin culture, I'll just say a word on this. Despite fashion, the world starts with Latin American culture. Yeah. By the way, we wouldn't have pizza or coffee without bringing home your backgrounds and your traditions. So for sure, the Latin American in the past, especially influenced our history, our culture, and I would say the same it has done fashion. What do you think, Josie?
Absolutely, it's still a source of inspiration. All the Latin culture, I can tell you, I mean, I work for brand like Etro, and I can tell you that from Mexico to Patagonia was for us an inspiration, continuous inspiration for many collections, and for the craftsmanship, for the culture, for the knowledge you have there. So absolutely, and Latin culture still now is a very interesting in terms of street, you know, culture that comes from the street too. So
The urban
yeah.
style wear. Yes, and as well as Italy, Latin America is a melting pot, as well as Italy started and is always be. And no one here is purely Italian, because for instance, I'm brown, she's totally blonde.
Yeah.
So we are really proud of this mixed blood, which is in our vein. So guys, thanks a lot for your attendance. We have seen you were super many people attending our webinar. I've shared our contact. Hope to truly get in touch on behalf of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Mexico. I thank you guys again for having joined us during this chit chat. Also thanks to the partners that gave us the chance and support for this session. Let's keep in touch and have a nice day ahead. Ciao.
Thank you so much. Bye.